is a valuable asset, and you want to take care of your home. From roofs, siding, windows, and doors to furnaces, flooring, landscaping, and much more. This is your go-to for all things home. It's Home Answers Radio. Presented by JeffBuysYourHouse.com. Access, Level 10 Coatings, Steiner Homes, and by Center Guard Plumbing with your host, Roger Piper.
Your go-to for all things home. It's Home Answers Radio.
Hi, welcome to Home Answers. I'm Roger Piper. This show is about your home, and we talk about everything to do with your home. Today, we're going to talk about selling. Whether you all of a sudden have a new property, you inherited it, or you're moving into assisted living, you need help with that, or you just want to sell your house, or you need to sell your house, then we want to talk to Jeff Neidiger with JeffBuysYourHouse.com. Jeff, welcome to the show.
Thanks again, Roger. Appreciate it.
You know, the offer that Jeff has for you, if you're looking at selling, is something that eliminates all stress because it's a cash offer. Here it is. You're not hoping you get the price. You're not wondering when you're going to close. All of those things are negotiated. It's really a one-stop shop. And when you sit down with Jeff and his team, they'll go through your house. They'll check it out. And, you know, it's really, they're going to work with you on your terms. And I think that makes a difference. You know, somebody in Aurora here, and I was looking at your website, and there's so many different things to look on there. And I always tell people to go to the website, JeffBuysYourHouse.com. And this person was saying that they were skeptical at first because they didn't, want to get close to market value in the selling. But, every way along, they had a great experience. And they gave them an offer they couldn't refuse. So they were very happy with everything that happened there. And I think that's a misconception, that you're going to get, a stupid offer. Because you're going to make them a fair offer, aren't you, Jeff?
Yeah, I think we're going to try and do what we can to give them a fair, reasonable cash offer that makes sense for us. Hopefully it makes sense for the seller. And again, being that it's no obligation, we would have only taken just a little bit of your time to come out and meet with you and talk about the house and your goals. And some of that we've got to take into consideration the closing time frame. And so we really try and it's very comprehensive. This is not a one-size-fits-all type offer. We really try and listen to your needs and then accommodate those through the offer to make sure that we can put our best foot forward and close on your time frame.
Yeah, and that offer could be, dealing with any kind of projects that need to be done in the house or any kind of clean outs or, I need to close in 2 months, I need to close in 10 days. You have that kind of flexibility that normally you don't get too much in the retail market, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. So normally when you're putting your house on the market for sale, of course, you have an idea of when you want to close, but really your closing is subject to what the buyer's needs are typically.
Yeah.
And so with us, as of right now, we've got closings that are 90 days out from now because that's what works best for the seller. Uh-huh. We'd love to buy the house in 2 weeks, right, but they want to close in 90 days, and so that's what we're going to do.
Mm-hmm. So if you have a situation, and this happens a lot, where, okay, I've got a job transfer, and I need to move my family, and the problem is I need the proceeds from that home to help buy a new home. That can be an option where you're hoping that you're going to get the price that you need or going through the entire real estate issue. This is something to where you can say, no stress, no harm, no foul. Here it is. So
it takes the guesswork out. And you hit a good point on that. We actually have quite a few folks that will sell their house to us because of what you just mentioned. They're looking to move on to the next thing, or maybe they're downsizing, but a lot of times they're needing these funds and they need to know what the amount of the funds is going to be so they can go ahead and execute on their next transaction, which a lot of folks are moving out of state, let's be honest. So they're moving down south. They're retiring somewhere where it might be a little bit more economical for them, but they need to know, am I getting $200,000 or $250,000? Or they just,
Yep.
Whereas if you go to the market, it's kind of dependent on what the market is. At least with us, you could call us out today. You'll know today what the offer is. And so that it just puts you at ease. At least and have this option.
Yeah, there's a great migration going on to get away from Illinois taxes. Taxes and property taxes, and people want to take care of that quickly. And, let's be honest, a lot of people are going, I don't want people to have to see my kitchen. I don't want, it works for me, but it's not going to, my realtor told me it has to be completely done, or this bathroom's got to be gutted, or this or that. It's kind of demeaning, and it's a process, and it's not fun. And, you've got your agent that's sitting there going, we need to do this in order to get a decent price. And you're going, okay, now you got to go through all the contractors, all that stuff. So I think people underestimate the amount of stress that they go through. Very few home sales aren't, the kind of stuff. You're going to lose some hair and you're going to get some gray hair no matter what.
And I was just reading an article that 35% of the contract volume has fallen out of contract in the last, I think, 6 months typically because of the buyer, right? And so the buyer wasn't able to perform mostly due to financing. They might have lost a job or rates went up. I mean, with the fluctuation in rates, your monthly payment changes pretty quickly. So here, that's 3 out of 10 houses that now are back on the market, back to square one. Whereas you might have been looking to move here in 2 weeks, you're not moving anymore. So that's not to scare anybody. That's just the reality of the market. And this is all verifiable online. So
So right now, 35% fall through, and that's basically what happens. Unreal.
And a lot of that, I think, is due to financing. They would say most of that is because of financing. And that's, it's not easy anymore to get a loan, and you got rates that are in the sixes, and it's just things change. And it's not to say that working with us that contracts don't fall out. Sometimes we just can't get past certain title issues. But it's very rare. But there is a fallout. And let's be honest, it's real estate. That's just being truthful in what we do. And anybody, what they do in real estate, it's not a one-to-one. There is sometimes going to be a fallout, but we can really reduce that by making sure we're going through the entire process, doing our homework, and then being very transparent with you throughout the entire process. No headaches, no surprises.
Yep. And Jeff is a veteran. Thank you for your service. And, of course, you can always count on a veteran company to do a good job for you. And then you've been doing this, 18, 20 years? I mean,
almost 20 years, yeah.
Yeah. And you are all over Chicagoland, and you'll buy basically any kind of home, right, Jeff?
Yeah, and it's mostly single-family houses, but of course we do a lot of townhomes, a lot of attached townhomes, condos, but I would say the majority are going to be your single-family homes, pretty much any price range all throughout Chicagoland as far as DeKalb. So we're covering a pretty large geography.
So if you're anywhere in there, you can give Jeff a call at, and that's the best thing to do is call him up and have him come talk to you. His team is a good amount of people that really know what they're doing. 630-552-6603 or jeffbuysyourhouse.com. You can reach him through that as well. When you're making a decision like this, it's hard. And I think that, probably transparency and embarrassment and things like that. Let's say that, somebody has a home and they're just uneasy about going through the whole process of having people come through. You really don't have that problem. You're not going to embarrass anybody, right, Jeff?
No, discretion and just being kind to people is very high on our list. It's one of our core values. So we're going to come out. We're going to make sure that you feel comfortable. We're going to educate you. There's no high pressure. Like I said, we would rather spend time with you, understanding what your needs or your family's needs are. A lot of times we're working with multiple sellers because it could be 3 or 4 heirs to the property. A lot of times it's siblings that are selling mom or dad's house or whatever. So now you've got a lot of voices that have an opinion, and we're okay sitting with them and making sure that they are heard and that we understand them and that we're going to try and accommodate everyone's needs. So it does get messy. It is complicated, but it's pretty common for us. And so our team is built around that, making sure that we're good listeners and very upfront. Sometimes if we can't put a scenario together, we'll just tell you. We're not here to waste your time. We'd love to point you in the right direction so that you guys are served in that way.
Mm-hmm. And that's something I think that makes a difference when you're selling your home. And you also buy homes in, around the clock, 12 months out of the year, right? You're not really dependent on the hot, real estate times.
No, we're not your typical buyer. We're not looking to move into the house before the kids start school. So
right.
So every month we're buying 30, 40, 50 houses a month. So it's a big team. It's a high volume business. But we love to continue to serve Chicagoland sellers and educate them on this process, and we'd love to buy more houses.
Yeah, well, that's quite a few already, and of course all over Chicagoland, and you'll do townhomes as well. So single family makes sense. That's what mostly is out there. If somebody is looking to really do it quickly, because that's one of the biggest disadvantages of the retail market is you never know exactly what's going to happen. We're going to put it on the market. It could sell in 24 hours, or we could have a contract in 24 hours, or we don't for 6 months. What's the real advantage when it comes to somebody that may be moving, job transfer, wanting to go into maybe assisted living, or somebody that inherited a home? time is a huge thing. What is the biggest advantage of that working with you as opposed to going the retail market?
Yeah, I think it goes back to the initial conversation that we have. So when folks call in, they want some more information. We kind of go through a process of trying to better understand. And then when we're in the living room, so to speak, with the seller and listening to their needs again, we are documenting and making sure that we can perform. The last thing we would like to do is to tell you we can do something and then can't do it. So we want to make sure that we understand that you want to close at the end of the month or at the end of next month or in 6 months. We can pretty much accommodate just about any scenario, but a lot of times it is because, the house that we're talking about is standing between where they want to go. It could be senior living, it could be out of state, it could be downsizing, very, very common for that. And again, a lot of times we're working with heirs to the property and, they of course they want to move quickly. Time is of the essence for them, especially when we're dealing with properties in the wintertime. Things don't improve when it gets cold. You know what I mean? It just gets more difficult, complicates things more. So, but we try to be very, very accommodating. And I think I know it's a very big advantage because people tell us this is the reason why. It's just, you made it easy. You did it on my time frame. Didn't make us feel bad because the house was not in good condition. I mean, sometimes it's embarrassing if it's your childhood home. Not everybody wants to have a bunch of people coming through telling them how they think the house looks or doesn't look, So we don't judge them. It's completely judgment free.
Yep. Best, a really good option, whether you're looking to sell right away or down, maybe in the future. It doesn't cost you anything to find out. Jeff Buys Your House, 630-552-6603. JeffBuysYourHouse.com. Go to the website. There's a ton of information there. Jeff, thanks for being on the show.
Thanks again, Roger.
It's Home Answers on AM 560, The Answer.